Hi everyone, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's Venus from Venus Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today we have another pick a card reading, another love video. This is going to be your past, present, and future of this connection, really diving into how your person feels about you. And so today we've got three piles for you to choose from. But before we get into pile selection, I'm going to give a breakdown of how today's reading is going to work. So first, this is going to be an all tarot reading with some oracle cards for guidance at the end. And then we are going to be going over an energy check. So these are the two cards right here. So we'll be doing it in a person A and person B format. So you can resonate with one side or both sides. I'm not really going to pick, which side is you. That's up for you. But if you don't feel that you resonate with either side, then this probably means that you might have picked a wrong pile, or there might not just be a message in today's reading for you, which is completely fine. Please don't force anything to fit. This is mainly supposed to be a confirmation, and not necessarily like new information for you. And so we're going to start off with our energy check-in. Again, if you resonate with both sides, that can be a really good sign of mirroring, which you often see in counterparts. Then we're going to go into the past, present, and future of the connection, and I'll draw a tarot card for each, which is my plan, and I'm hoping we get to stick to it. And then we will draw some crystal oracles to close out your reading and to provide some guidance. So now that that has all been said, let's get into today's reading. We have our lovely Rose Quartz. I love to bring her out every single time we're doing a love prediction reading, just so we can, get into her energy. But without further ado, so for pile number one, we have the opalite. For pile number two, we have the amethyst. And for pile number three, we have the sunstone. Okay, as with always, take as much time as you need. You can pause the video here, and when you're ready, I'll see you in your pile. Hi, pile ones. Welcome to your reading. So today is going to be a reading all about the past, present, and future of your connection with your person. If you want a breakdown of what we're going to cover and how we're going to cover it, then I would just scroll back to the introduction because that's where I go over everything. But without further ado, you have picked this gorgeous opalite. Just making sure you're in the right pile. And I'll set it beside the rose quartz. So to start off with, we're going to go with your energy check. So we have person A on this side and person B on this side. Please remember that if you don't resonate with one or both of these sides, then I would sort of advise you to try and pick another pile, or just maybe there's just not a message in today's reading for you, which is okay too. And thank you so much for joining us for however long or short you're with me. So we are going to, and I'm not going to be reading reversals. Just like to say that before I start flipping cards over, because this is number. So you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool. So for person A, we've got the Ace of Pentacles as their energy. And then for person B, we have the Fool for their energy. Okay. So what I'm feeling is some pretty strong, pretty good vibes, in all honesty. So on person A side, it looks like they are getting ready to make an offer. They've been thinking about the relationship. And they really want to bring it to the most practical and tangible next step. So this isn't going to be like a promise of, you know, I promise to love you forever and ever, for example, because yes, that's nice. And I'm not saying we don't want to hear that, but it's mainly about something that's practical and that you can touch and sort of see the results of. So instead of saying, like, I promise to love you forever and ever, it's likely going to be a um, let's start a business together, or let's start a venture, let's move in, or, let's go on vacation. It's going to be something, an experience that you can touch, um, or just an experience, something that you can physically see the manifestation of. And like, I know sometimes you can with love, but I hopefully you get like my drift. Uh, for this, I'm going to be trying and reading for a variety of scenarios, so it doesn't necessarily have to apply for strictly romantic connections. But person A is feeling very secure in the relationship at this current time and really wanting to take those practical and tangible next steps. It feels not necessarily like there's an energy of progression. For some of you, that could apply. But for others of you, it's just sort of how do we, bring more of how we feel in terms of our emotional body and in terms of, like the 5D of this connection and bringing it into the 3D. So it's not like this offer isn't always about going to the next step. It can really just be focused in on here's a gift, here's an experience, here's a plant, here's a puppy, something like that. There's going to be something physical that person A is really contemplating, and really planning to bring in at this time. It doesn't really feel very much like this person's in this contemplation energy in terms of deciding, oh, should I do this or that? I think they are very, very, very much definitive. They know what they want to do next. It's just the how that they might be mulling over. So it's like they know that they want to have that more practical or tangible manifestation of this connection. And it may be that they're stuck between, like, oh, do I get person B like this designer bag, or should I just take them to the movies instead? Like, those are the types of things that they're mulling over, but they know what the next step is to offer you something. Now, on person B side, with the Fool energy here, again, I really feel like this is just very optimistic. You're feeling good. There's a sense of adventure, because the Fool is the starting, is the origin of the tarot story. So it feels like this person is really just in this energy of, I'm ready to leap into this. I'm ready to, you know, start again and have this renewed energy and renewed commitment towards the connection. They're really reinvesting their thoughts and actions. And if you look at these two cards together, I think there's this mutual energy of both person A and person B moving closer and closer towards each other. So both parties have this connection on their mind and are really thinking about how do they bring this forward? So person A is more on the practical side. Person B, the energy feels more internalized in terms of they are very committed. They're very excited about the potential. And it kind of feels like the world is your oyster type of energy. They're saying, you know what? I don't need to know how this journey ends or goes. I think we are in such a beautiful place that I'm waiting and ready and excited for this unfolding of this connection. Which I love. What's some beautiful energy, you guys. So if this sounds like you and your person and how you're feeling about your connection, then we will go into the past, present, and future. So I'm just going to set these cards aside. Okay, so got in the deck. we're back to it. So, Spirit, what is the past energy of this connection? How is this person feeling towards pile number one? So we have the Eight of Pentacles. What is the Peasant's connection? How is pile? How is pile number one's person feeling about them now? We have the Six of Wands. And what is the future energetic connection? Pile number one's person. Okay. The Page of Wands. Back of the deck is the Queen of Cups. So we are still in with this very sweet energy. I'm going to set this over here. So for the past energy of this connection, particularly how your person was feeling about you, they were really feeling that with the Six of Pentacles here. I don't remember if I said Eight of Pentacles or not, but this is the Six of Pentacles. Oh, and you have repeating sixes. So repeating sixes could be a sign that your person's higher self is trying to get in touch with you. We also have 0 and 1 here. So I would be on the lookout for those repeating numbers or any combinations of sixes, ones, and zeros. So, and then I just heard the number 6107. So maybe one of you wants to look up what that angel number means because it might have some relevance to your connection. So with the past energy of the Six of Pentacles, this person was really seeing you as somebody that they wanted to invest um, in terms of they really wanted to put their best foot forward. They wanted to impress you. There was something about you that made them say, okay, that this is a challenge and I need to rise to the occasion. I can't sort of be in this energy that I was previously. There has to be an energy of ascension. And so they've been doing their best to like show you off. If this was romantic, taking you on like the best dates, taking you someplace maybe cool and niche so that you could think that they were really cool. Or it could be that, they were giving you presents or complimenting you a lot. And also you may have noticed that if this is a friend or something, you may have noticed that their style has improved or the topics of conversations that they engage you in. It's not just about like what's on TV or what, celebrity gossip or reality TV show stuff. It's really about, okay, how do we better ourselves because they see you as somebody that they want to do that journey with. So it might have been like, oh, let's talk about investing, and really feels like they wanted to impress you with their knowledge and with the things that they offered you in the material realm. And with the Six of Wands here, they're really seeing this. I'm really hearing victory as like a connection to which that they can achieve victory and walk through the highest sort of heights and move through something really positive. So they're have every intention, as we saw in the beginning with both people, of moving towards this connection. How they're feeling right now is that like with you by their side, they can do anything because you guys are best friends, because you're the right match for each other, because you just get each other in terms of how you like to work. And it's one of those business relationships where you're both good at different things that support the business. So it could be one person's really good at social media, the other person's really good at finances, and the social media person really good at business plans and the finance person's good at pitching. So you get to play off of each other's strengths. So really feeling like you still are in this energy where you've met like this person has risen to the challenge. Um, and you guys are in this energy of being the best versions of each other or of yourselves with each other. And for the future energy and how they're feeling in the future, they're very, I think this connection is just going to grow from strength to strength. Like there's no major challenge that I'm seeing. It's not to say like every relationship, no matter the type, has its ups and downs. Like that's a given. But I'm not seeing anything that would cause sort of like any concern. And anything that would be like, oh, like we have to separate or something like that. It really feels like you work through things really, really well. Uh, and the current, how things are currently, like the future versions of this current energy is that it's going to continue. Like these are just very different sort of iterations of the same energy. And if you can see, like with the Six of Pentacles, if we had them all and lined up like the Six of Pentacles, like this person is looking to the past, and like the present and the future energies are looking to the future because there's a lot of great potential, a lot of really strong creative energy. So it could be that the project that you're collaborating on now or in the future will ignite a lot of passion, ignite a lot of creative sparks in both of you. And if this is more of a romantic or sexual energy, then I would expect that to be, it's a top notch. Um, and that's something that, this person is really looking forward to your physical connection growing and growing. But for other relationships, it's really just about feeling this kindred spirit this, with each other, which is really, really nice. So, to close off this reading, we are going to get an Show Realms Crystal Oracle. So, what is some guidance? So, we've got Lace Agate, Air Element, Adaptability. So, I think really what the guidance here is, and I think it's something that you're already doing, so it shouldn't come as a shock, is that like what we've seen here consistently is this desire on both of your parties, but especially your persons, to ascend to this higher version of themselves and to continue to adapt to the change, and adapt with each other and be able to feed off of one another and also give each other room to grow and the space to grow. Just knowing that you guys are in a very synchronistic energy right now, and that seems to be prolonging based on the energies that we've seen here. And really the advice is in order to be in this energy, like be adaptable to the changes within yourself and be adaptable to the changes within the other person. And so I think that's it. That's all the messages that I'm getting for you, my pile number ones. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope this resonated. And I hope you have a beautiful day or night whenever you're watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, Pal Threes, and welcome to your reading. So, today's reading is going to be all about your past, present, and future of this connection. I am doing this reading to apply to a wide variety of connections, so not just only romantic. And to kick off the reading, we're going to go into an energy check. If you want a full breakdown of how this reading is going to go, then I would just go back to the intro. So, my pile number threes, you have chose this gorgeous amethyst. And again, as a quick reminder, doing the energy check in terms of person A versus person B. If you don't resonate with one or both sides, then there probably isn't a message in this reading in particular. So I would choose another pile. And if you don't resonate with any of them, then perhaps, my dear, today is just not your reading, which is okay. I'm also not taking reversals. So for person B, we have the King of Wands. And for person, oh, there are two cards stuck together. For person A, we have the Page of Swords and the Emperor. Okay. So if I can go off of, I, especially in energy checks, I just like to look at the direction the figures are facing. And it seems like person B is looking at person A, and person A is more in this energy of looking at their past. I think for person A, what's really interesting that these two cards were stuck together, because the cards in this deck don't really do that for me, is that it feels like this emperor is this version of themselves that they don't see, and it's perhaps this version of themselves that the other person B sees within them. So the emperor kind of represents this great potential that lies underneath. But person A definitely doesn't feel like they're living up to their potential. Like the page is one of the younger energies in the court card. I'm seeing like I'm getting the sense that with this page of swords, it kind of feels like there's a lot of imposter syndrome going on. So even though they have sort of evidence for the ways that they're most aligned with the characteristics of the emperor, which is Aries energy, by the way, in case that's a confirmation for you. Um, it really just feels like they feel like they're an imposter, and it kind of feels like they are using their sword to keep up the illusion, but feeling on the inside that, it's kind of like in the Wizard of Oz when you have like the wizard and this whole grandiose like machine, and then it just turns out that it's a man, and they feel like if that's going to be the disappointment if people sort of recognize that, it's not as grandiose. But I think it's more of a confidence issue. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think that this person is putting up a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's just that they believe that they are, and that they believe that people will be disappointed, and they kind of are disappointed in themselves for the facade that they need to put on, to keep with this illusion going. And it just feels like person A needs to be a lot more kinder to themselves. For person B and their energy, we have the King of Wands. Will this focus? Okay. Sorry if the other cards weren't focusing. I forgot to check. But the King of Wands here, I've been just getting this very harmonious energy for the King of Wands. It really feels like they're in touch with their creative power. They're feeling very passionate and excited for life. And to an extent, they're excited about this connection. They're excited about this person. It kind of feels like you guys have probably just met, or this is a newer connection for you both, or a new iteration of the connection where you are coming to grips with each other, or learning each other for the second time. Some of you might be the third. And you're really just trying to understand like who are those versions. You're excited to go on this exploration energy because you feel or person B feels very secure within themselves. And there feels like they have a lot going on, but it's not in this situation of overwhelm, because it's not like, person B is saying like, "Oh, I'm busy and like I'm super busy." They don't relish in that. They have enough on their plate, but they also haven't overfilled it. They're managing, and with the Emperor and the King of Wands coming out, and the Emperor being like this culmination of all of these like kingly energies in the tarot deck, and particularly representing the sign of Aries, and the King of Wands representing fire signs, just generally, it feels like these two people are even like evenly matched in some substantial way, but it doesn't really feel like they are recognizing that, particularly on person A's side, because person A is definitely this energy of feeling that they have a lot longer and a lot further to go. So I think that's all I'm seeing for the energy check. So this sounds like you or your person. Now we're going to get into the past, present, and future of this connection. I'm going to put these cards over here. So Spirit, what is the past energy of this connection? Okay. So we have the Seven of Wands. Spirit, what is the present energy of this connection? Got the King of Pentacles. Spirit, what is the future of this connection? We have the Ten of Cups. I think this is really beautiful energy, and your messages are kind of very, very, very straightforward. So I am just going to get into it. So with the Seven of Wands here, particularly being in the past position, what I'm seeing is this energy, there being like an uphill battle to as something that needed to be overcome. And it's feeling very much tied to the way you guys met and the way that you guys like came into union, because it feels like you guys know each other. Um, and it feels like one or both of you had to get over a very big fear to be able to come into each other's sphere. And it could be, one person had a fear of like dating online and using apps. And one of those persons, with the help of a friend, set up an online dating profile. Or it could be, this person was afraid of the water, but decided to go on like a boat tour with a friend, and you were also on that tour. So it feels like there was this huge fear being overcome, and it was kind of like a hard fought victory, is like words that the phrase that's coming to mind is because this fear was overcome. And it could be like somebody was afraid of commitment, or afraid that their ideas weren't as good, or afraid that they weren't smart enough. And the fact that you came into their life, and the fact that this connection happened or is happening, felt like evidence that, that wasn't true, and that they could move into this new space. And that's sort of what the Seven of Swans represents. But the King of Pentacles, what I'm seeing again is this like balance and like harmonious energy, where there's this bringing out this other side, and really looking at like the confidence that this connection brings to the other person, and this connection really helping to boost their confidence, and them being very, very grateful to you and to your presence and to the connection, because it helps them feel like they are actually a lot closer to the Emperor, For example, so like if this person A, like instead of feeling like, oh, I'm, 2 or 3 steps behind, they're like, no, I'm very much like well on my way to being this emperor energy. I'm the king of wands as well. It's just feeling more like confident in themselves, and the confidence comes from this connection. And spirit's not really giving a lot of messages about the connection in itself, but the feelings that are revoked. And it's this situation and this essence of I'm going to be okay either way. Like it doesn't really matter how this turns out. I am going to be okay either way is the big, it's a summation of this energy. And sitting kind of like pretty in the knowledge of that. And I like how the King of Pentacles is looking forward, because it's like this non-committal energy to the outcomes. It's just saying, okay, like it can go this way, it can go that way. I'm now in a place where I enjoy this connection. I enjoy the lessons we learned together. I enjoy the lessons that I learned from being in relationship with this person. But I'm going to be okay, and you both are, whether or not you continue. For some of you, that's like a working relationship, or others decide, you know what, like we've done what we came to do. There's no need for us to pursue this further. And for some of you, it's just being like, yeah, let's do this together. And that brings us to the Ten of Cups, which is this like huge emotional fulfillment, and this really beautiful energy that symbolizes like the summation of all of this work. It symbolizes like the highest sense of joy and alignment and just emotional fulfillment. And it feels like this deep contentment in yourself, and with each other. And that's, again, I think if this is more of a romantic partnership, I think there's really good signs here. But as I said, I've not really gotten strong messages from spirit about like the actuality of the connection. Spirit kind of just wants to say, you will be, however this ends, however, like the future will hold what it'll hold, but just know the journey that we're bringing you on, and the journey of this connection is going to lead you someplace for your highest good. Okay, so I think that's all the messages that I'm seeing for this part of the reading. So we'll move on to the last part, which is any guidance. So we have my nail falling off. So we have two cards stuck together that I cannot pick apart without losing another nail. So we've got Divine Love, Pink Amethyst, the Soul Star Chakra, and Asterion, Fluorite Introspection. So with these two energies here, spirit and your guides are letting you know that you have divine love, you have divine protection. And they're asking you to like to know that, because you know yourself. And in knowing yourself, you know this divine love. So if you're ever feeling in this sort of energy of discontentment and uneasiness and uncertainty, they're asking you to spend time with yourself, time coming into alignment and self actualization, because it's like to know you is to love you, and to know and to love yourself is to know the divine love, uh, and to honor the divine love of spirit and your guides. That's really sweet. So I'm gonna set out your cards. So that is it, my lovelies. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day whenever you are watching. And I hope to see you next time. Bye. Hi, pal twos. Hypo threes, welcome to your reading. So, in today's reading, and you are pearl number three, we are going to go over the past, present, and future energy of this connection. So, we may be getting into how this person feels about you and how that changes. This is for all connections. If you want a breakdown of how this reading is going to go, then I would just click back to the intro because I do go over that. But let's go and get into your reading. So you guys picked this gorgeous sunstone, and we're going to start off with our energy check. So for person A's energy, we have the Six of Wands. I'm also not taking reversals. And then for person B's energy, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay. So I want to start off with person B's energy. So we have the Seven of Wands, if this will pick up. It really feels like this protective energy. This person has drawn in a lot of their energy inwards to protect something. And I'm seeing like to protect themselves. So it doesn't really feel like this person has completely given over and given freely to this connection and to the relationship as it exists currently. It really just feels like they are in this energy of retreat and have been for some time for some of you. So it's not to say that this connection like isn't on their minds. It's just sort of this energy of like they have bigger fish to fry, and the bigger fish to fry is the it's just a I'm hearing like inner turmoil that they've been experiencing. Like it really just feels like they've been going through some level of emotional hardship. So it could be like this person has or is coming on the other end of a dark night of the soul is what I'm hearing. But for the most part, they are it's a lot of internal processing because it's not necessarily like a lot of external factors are including adding to the situation for them. It's one of those scenarios where it feels like, oh, if you're already in a bad mood, and then you get splashed by a car, then your mood's gonna be made even worse like the following day. So it really just feels like that. But it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like they're challenging situations. It feels like there's challenging emotional growth. So it could be actually that this person has recently started therapy and is uncovering some like hard truths about their lives, about things that they've experienced, about relationships that they hold dear, particularly with a family member. And they're really doing some deep seated healing. And this has been like triggered or catalyzed, I'm hearing in the last like 1 to 2 years, because it feels like this person has been in this energy for some time and it doesn't really seem like there's a clear way out of it for them. So it's not to say that they're ignoring this person or ignoring this connection deliberately. It's just not like the first thing on their mind. Now, person A, in contrast, is in a little bit more of an optimistic sort of energy. I feel like this person has recently accomplished something really amazing, something that they've been working towards and working on for a really, really long time. It feels like a manifestation of theirs, like for some of them, like they've been trying to manifest this for the last like 5 years, whether or not it's like growing their social media following or something of the like. They've really been trying to work hard on bringing this into fruition and to bringing this into light. And it really just feels like in the last sort of couple of months, this is coming to fruition. So they're still riding on this high. And with that, it's brought this energy of grounding in them where you can say, these are the connections and relationships in my life that I want to pay closer attention to. And so they feel like they're in this evaluating energy. It doesn't feel like this action is, towards the connection in particular. This action and this movement that we see with the Six of Wands is more so pertaining to this person's life. And the action and movement that they want to, and the momentum that they want to carry through to their regular life. With everything that they've accomplished and saying, okay, like, what's next for me? I've accomplished this huge thing. I feel like I'm stepping into this more solidified and more stable energy. How do I bring this momentum forward? How do I show up in my relationships a bit differently? Things like that. That kind of feels like the main energy that they're in right now and just at present in general. So I think those are sort of the main energy vibes that I'm getting for person A and person B. I'm not getting a ton about the connection because both at parties seem to be very focused on themselves, like the connections in their minds for different reasons, right? So the Seven of Wands person and person B hasn't forgotten about this connection, but isn't actively thinking about it because they are going through a lot internally. Whereas person A and the Six of Wands person is more so looking at this relationship through the lens that they're looking at all of their relationships in currently, which is to say, like, okay, where do we go from here? I'm in this new energy. I want to keep this momentum going. Who is best around to support me? So with this, um, if you resonate with one or both sides, then we're going to go into the past, present, and future energies of this connection. If you don't resonate with either of those sides, then there probably isn't a message in here for you, my dear. Oh, that rhymed. But I would either pick another pile or there might just not be a message in here for you today. So, spirit is the past energy of this connection. Okay, so this one wants to come out. We have the King of Wands. Spirit, what is the present? Okay, so we've got the Five of Wands. We also had the Eight of Wands come out to support it. What is the future of this connection? Okay. We have the Seven of Swords. The bottom of the deck is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Just to clarify, me not taking reversals, may on the cards that come out for the deck. I'll just read it how it is. Me one moment to just meditate on the cards. So the overwhelming message I'm getting for this connection is that it's just there's something about timing that keeps coming up. Uh, with the King of Wands here, and especially just looking at how the imagery is and where everyone's facing. So we've got the future position with the Seven of Wands, where they're kind of running away and they're trying to put the future and the opportunities in this sort of like rear view mirror. The King of Wands is looking very firmly and very confidently at the past it feels like in the past energy of this connection, this person felt like more secure, and more confident about how things were and where they were going and what was manifesting between you two. That very much feels like the energy that one or both of you were in. And it wasn't to say that there was, like, for some of you there may have been promises made, whether or not that's like in a business relationship or partnership. It's like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to partner on this new app that's going to help pet owners, I readily identify common diseases in their dogs. I don't know why that came up. But if it's something that you're working on, then, you know, give me credit. But it really feels like you had like a plan, and something that you felt really good about in terms of this connection, whether that just being how you guys vibed or the things that were discussed, or feeling like there was a skill set match here. With the Five of Wands and the Eight of Wands, in particular, it feels like there have been a lot that's come up, and a lot that's come up really quickly. So I'm kind of drawn to this person here who's just kind of like looking at all the wands and being like, oh, that's that's a face that I'm getting for them. And they're just like a little bit panicked because it's like, oh, this could fall and hit me in the face. And it's not to say that it's necessarily all good or all bad. Like, I think on both sides they're dealing with completely new energies. So it could be that for person A, for example, as a result of manifesting this big thing, and launching, like, let's say it's a business and launching their online stores, and they're getting a lot of orders, and it's all things that they've wanted for a really long time and worked really hard for. But then they're now in this kind of like frantic energy of being like, okay, like, how do I, I'm one person, do I need to get this done? Should I hire somebody? Do I need to increase like my online store's capacity? Do I need to shut down? Like, it feels like that kind of anxiousness. And with like person B, it feels like there's just been a lot that's coming up. Um, that's kind of, they are a lot that's coming up emotionally, and it's like it doesn't feel like either of these people can catch a break right now. So it doesn't feel like the relationship is the priority for either of them in this current moment in time. And with the Seven of Swords as a future energy, what I'm seeing here is this person is, it feels like, based on the current energies, there's a running away. It doesn't really feel like there's a progression. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's, for some of you, it could be that decision to separate, to say, you know what, I feel with this, it's really, I'm getting the sense of there's just too much on my plate. I'm going to cut my losses, which I think is represented by the two swords just standing right here. Um, as this energy of like, I see this representing the connection and like the possibilities and the potential, and this person or this mutual decision, it doesn't feel like it's totally one-sided. It might feel like there's one person who's slightly hoping that they could figure things out, but it's recognizing that now is not the right time because there's too much else that they want to focus their priority on. And that is really like what's going on here. It's saying, let's cut our losses, let's just focus on the things that we've been working towards, and where our priorities are, and we'll just let this be for now. For some of you, it could be like a forever. So it could be in the case of a business partnership, you never actually launched that app idea. Um, which kind of can be frustrating, especially if you're the person who really wanted to and then you find time, but then you'll have to navigate some IP stuff and all of that. But for others of you, it's just this like a temporary pause. Like, we've evaluated where we are right now. This energy, this Eight of Wands energy, isn't slowing down, it's not getting any easier. So let's cut our losses. Let's pause it here before we resent each other. And it really feels like this is like a protective energy of saying, like, before things go south, and before we get into this dynamic where one person is giving so much of themselves or more invested than the other person, we'll just cut it off and just say, you know what, for now, we'll just pause it. We'll let everything rock for where it is, and we will like keep things keep things as they are and not think any further of it at this moment in time. And when things ease up, then we can revisit this, and we can revisit this from a place that we took this conscious pause, because I feel like this person is looking at those Two of Swords to be like, we are protecting that and we're protecting the partnership so that we don't get into this energy of resentment. I feel like that's really what you're trying to avoid. Okay, so I think that concludes this part of the reading. I'm going to pull a Crystal Realm Oracle for my pile number threes. So we have Black Tourmaline, Regeneration. So what I think the message here and the guidance here is to think about, there's a lot going on. How can you pour into your cup? Because it feels like there's a lot of opportunities for it to be depleted in this current moment in time, and really focus on that, and give this connection. And I always hate when people say this, but I'm about to say it. Give this connection to the universe, to your guides, to the divine, and say, I will act when I feel called to act, but really what your guides and spirit want you to do right now is focus on filling up your own cup and being more present in terms of your self-care. All right. So that's all your cards laid out. Thank you so much, pile number threes, for letting me read for you. And this is all the messages that I'm seeing for you today. So I'm going to leave your reading here. Thanks so much again. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day whenever you're watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.